Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gotzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of the 7th and final round of the inaugural season of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar DW12 Championship Series. As today we come to you from the world's greatest race course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Air temperature is cool, 65 degrees, light winds, lowish. Indiana humidity, lowish, 45% or so. As always, joining me in the booth for this season and next, he's a regular on the IndyCar Oval Series, been doing a lot of IR farming this week at Indy Fixed at Michigan. Please welcome Kyle Klidworth. So Kyle, you got in here and did some practice, and you found some interesting facts. We're looking at a potential pack race.
Oh, absolutely. These cars are dragged out, man. They are going so slow by themselves, and in a pack they're going to be 2 wide, 3 wide the entire race. Look for fuel saving to be very important. Look for big bonsai 4 wide moves into turn 1 and turn 3. This is going to be a barn burner.
All right, let's get things set here. And look at the 225 left to play here. And at the top, and wow, that's a big speed for these cars. You're right. Lemmy Minsky, I hope I'm saying that right. Now Matthias Strauss, 228.9. Minsky, 228.7. Dojiko, 228.3. Bonnie, 228.2. Lovern just goes down a couple spots because Pavato and Pavato up to 228.2. Bonnie, 228.27. Lovern, 228.1. So, man, these speeds are huge.
Yeah, the qualifying set is so fast. They took all of the drag out of the car. You're maxing out 6th gear around the entire track. You really feel like you're on the razor's edge.
About a minute 34 left to play here. We're watching Julian making his attempt through turn 1, right up to the short chute wall. Down wheels below the white line, turn 2, right in front of the Riley Children's Hospital Suites. Down the back stretch, separating the 2 portions of the Brickyard Crossing golf course there. Into turn 3 now, here's Hunter Bogdan, checking his run. Very high in turn 3, up in the wall, and makes contact, sliding to the inside wall on the entrance of 4. His run is done. He might have time to get 1 lap in if he hurries up. I don't think he will, though. A minute remaining. Julian to the top with a 228.985. And Strauss currently P2. Julian just finishing his run there. Strauss P2, 228.939. Now watching Seb Kinder. Car gets a little loose on corner exit. Switching to Pedro Babel now, the road course veteran. Saw him yesterday at Road America in the VOR IR18 series. Pedro completes his run at the 228.6. Now we're picking back Seb Kinder again. Through turns 3 and 4 on the north end of the racetrack. Heading down the 5/8 of a mile front stretch. What does he clock in as? Kinder, P11, 228.2. And we're going to run out of time here before he can get his next lap in. And we're getting ready to line up. We got ourselves a pretty big field today.
It looks like we've got 22 entries today. Doing some quick math, if you had 24, that'd be 8 rows of 3. So it looks like we'll have 7 rows 3 wide if they want to do that, grid to grid, wire to wire.
All right, let's take a look at today's starting lineup. From Indianapolis, my hometown. And we'll be doing 80 laps today. Go ahead.
No more fitting place for the championship race. Championship Sunday right here in Indianapolis. The crown jewel of IndyCar racing. What a place to be.
Now, Tony George really wanted it to be that way when he formed the IRL and tried to make Indianapolis the last race, and it just made for an odd calendar, and they eventually dropped that one. But you're all right. It is an appropriate place to wrap up the championship. The championship is decided. We will get into that momentarily. But on the pole is Julian Altina, and then P2, Matthias Strauss. P3, Edson Santos. P4 is Mischke with that 39.5. Liam O'Sullivan, we had talked to him for a little bit in the pre-race. He's P5. Good run for him. John Silva, one of the Brazilians in the lineup, P6. Moving on, Pedro Bell, the road course veteran, P7. Floridor Doshenko, P8. Amore Cesar Pavado, P9. Alexander Bonney, P10. Good start for him. Seb Kinder, P11. Gary Lovern, P12. John Christensen, 13th. Alec Vandenbosch, 14th. Tin Van Velde, I'm probably seeing that right. Shin Van Velde, he is 15th. Jonas Weber, 16th. Sergio Vicente, part of that Club Brazilian contingency. He is 17th. Lee Kane, he and I will be, he might actually be doing a little work for Race First. We'll see, but he is starting 18th on the grid in the very appropriate number 14 for Indianapolis. That is the venerable AJ Foyt number. Rafi Eckhart, the series champion, it's been decided. He's all but a formality today, and the series team championship has also been decided. His team, Leader Energy, they have won the championship as well. But Rafi back there in 19th. Really, I think all he really needs to do is just start the race, and he is good to go. Hunter Bogdan, 20th. Hugo Galez, 21st with no time, and Cedric Holmboom it was a P22, rounding out the 22-car field with no time. And we are rolling for our pace lap. Final thoughts before we get into this thing? I know we're just kind of sitting back going, what's going to happen?
I'm excited to see how aggressive these drivers are right off the start. If you want to be conservative and be patient, maybe that will play to your hand later in the game. You'll have a clean car for the end of the race. We've got 80 laps here, which is a bit of a, it's not quite a sprint, not quite a marathon, right in the middle.
Yeah, 80 laps, I think, is what Indy Open used to run when they came here. And they still come here, by the way, but next time they come here, I think it's still 80 laps for them. And then when the IIS comes here, it will be the only non-full distance length race on the schedule will be 500K instead of 500 miles. That's 125 laps. See a lot of people doing that now, 125 laps. Kind of throws off the fuel calculations just a little bit. We have to do a little bit of saving. Pace car is getting ready to pull off right there as he whips it. Fields under the command of Julian Altina. Thea Strauss in that Aero Smith Racing throwback right next to him. Green flag, and we're underway.
Pretty organized here off at the start. First 6 single file.
Pedro Bybel side by side with Doshenko. They've got it straightened out. Kinder side by side now with Bodie.
Side by side for the lead.
Strauss to the inside. That former Hinchcliffe livery. That's the livery that Hinchcliffe got when he was in when he took that really big shunt that now, as we later find out after the fact, nearly killed him. Julian back to the inside. Let's get an idea of what they're doing versus their qual laps here. That time coming up to speed 189.7. This will be a full lap of at speed. Cars jockeying for position. John Silva in that red car right there, and looking for a place to slot in. And we have a new leader, Liam O'Sullivan, to the top in the William Rast throwback.
Had a fan in the chat.
And Dan Weldon. Now that's we didn't see the William Rast DW12, but that was the livery that Dan Weldon was in when he won in 2011. That 2x2x2x2.
Looks like a pace lap.
It does. It does. Everyone be very patient. Very patient. Cams are provided by Track Cams for Gourmet. Check them out at trackcam22.com. Want to thank them for starting to sponsor this partnership with us. We'll be using Track Cam for Gourmet cams for now all of our races going forward here on Race First. Check out their stuff in the description. If you're looking for new cams for your personal needs or league, check them out, trackcam22.com. So it looks like Strauss is keeping it glued to the high side, keeping that momentum high. Still not enough, but it is allowing him to stay out front. There goes Liam O'Sullivan to the bottom. And we got Lemmy Minsky is now into that picture there in that red and green DW12. Yoshiko up to 5th now, up 3 spots.
Yeah, so keep note of where Minsky is right now. If you come up of turn 4 behind a pair of cars that are side by side for a stretch to the end, like that's where you want to be. You want to be the 3rd car in line. It'll allow you to build up so much momentum, pull out to the side, to the left or the right, whichever way the 2 in front of you are not, and pass them both.
And we do have the Brazilians in chat. Hey guys, singing. He's going. John, let's go, John Silva. Brazilian wave for you. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's the summertime down there right now. It should be part of the country's summertime.
Yeah, or closer to autumn, probably.
Yeah,
right
getting there. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa,
Sullivan
3
having,
wide.
some connection issue.
John Christensen was 3 wide. He was a ham in the sandwich there, and he's like, nah. There's a couple things I hate to hear on the radio on these races. One of them is you're too damaged, you're done, and the other one is 3 wide, you're in the middle.
Yeah, middle of 4 is also scary because you don't know if you're the bottom middle or the top middle.
Like 4 wide, you're in the middle, hold steady, still there. Come on, man, go. O'Sullivan to the top, Minsky to the lead. So you mentioned him. Pedro Bibel working the high side now, just a high up above the 70 car there. That's Jonas Weber.
What a treat this is. What great racing.
So Van Velde right there, he's in the black VOR car. Never seen, actually that's the first time I've actually seen an all-black VOR car. I had one very close to an all-black car. For my 25th start in VOR, I had a special paint job, and it was kind of a black car, but I've never seen the all-black VOR car pulled off, so congrats to him. Used to be all of us in VOR had to drive basically what Julian has right now.
The dark blue and black? Or
dark the blue and black there. Although we had a team member that was really into teal, and he really wanted us to have teal cars. So my only VOR league win. Car sideways, and that is Gary Lovern. He's spin around cleanly. And we are back underway, but we're under caution. Let's take out, look what happened before we talk about my lone VOR win. Did you have a little help there from Vicente? A little bit of maybe possible netcode. Do we get a better view from the Race First One airship? Yeah, we do. Oh, there's contact there. Just contact. Just closed the gap too quick, helped him on around. I don't think Lovern's any worse for wear. That might have been Eckert that made contact there. We'll double check again. If that was Eckert, he might have some nose. Yeah, that was Eckert. He might have some slight nose damage, and he probably should get that looked at. But I think from what you were telling us in the pre-race, that everyone is probably more than likely going to be heading to pit road.
I would stop here, definitely. Top up on fuel. You may not need tires, just because everyone seems to have so much grip. So if you want some track position, maybe just get the fuel and hop a couple people in line here. If we're lucky, we may get to treat everyone to Lee Kane's pit crew. Their fire suits are a riot.
And I don't think we have that graphic, but he is running he's staying out, so he's going to go roll to the front. He is running the Haas livery of from the late mid-90s, early 2000s. So that particular Newman Haas livery that he has, we'll get another shot of it right there. That's what Michael Andretti had. That livery, to my knowledge, the black Havoline livery never ran at Indianapolis in an official race. Maybe they came for testing before the split or something like that, but they never had. I don't think that black livery ever made an appearance at Indianapolis. Cars coming off of pit road now. Lee Kane goes up to 6th. Julian stayed out. Pedro Bibel stayed out. Boney stayed out. Santos stayed out. Cedric Holboom stayed out. And Lee Kane stayed out. So the biggest gainer here is Holboom, up 16 spots. Kane up 11. But I'm thinking that Julian and Bibel were on the radio. That's both Team VOR cars. And I think Team VOR is splitting strategies here. I think half the team went in this pit, and the other half is going to stay out and hold on this track position.
Yeah, especially if you get concerned that people are going to start mixing it up. Being out front can give you less opportunity to get involved, right? You don't have to worry about being run over from behind because the accident hopefully will be behind you rather than in front of you.
All right. And momentarily, if I can, I'd like to get the points up just to show everyone that it is decided and give the proper credits to... I'll just have to set that up in the overlay here momentarily.
Well, if it is decided, then you can go let the rough side hang and go all out and win, right? Make a move maybe you wouldn't otherwise.
Full send.
Points racing sometimes is boring. I want the W.
And I'm just getting everything sorted here. Thanks for everyone for joining us. I'm not sure where you are in the world, but here in central Indiana, it's a glorious looking day. We don't have a lot of leaves on the trees yet, but it's getting there. Still kind of bare out there. But pretty soon, we're now into March. We fight through this March, and then we fight through April, and then we are in the month of May here in Indianapolis. And this is when all this happens for real.
So one thing to note here, Gary, Vincentini seemed to top off here for fuel on the last lap before green.
Well, when you're in the back, when you're all the way in the back like that, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad strategy at all. I do that quite a bit, and really, if they go green for a long stint, that might pay off for him during while he stays out and everyone else has the pit. Here we go. DeCicco out wide. Looks like they kind of, according to the back there, see everyone kind of evasive action, evasive maneuvers. Something happened back there. John Christensen, Hunter Bogdan, showed a lot of people kind of having to check up back there. But we're back under green. Now, it's important for those guys to get up to speed quickly, because if they're going to lose track of the draft, you could do that very quickly in these cars, is lose track of the draft. The draft envelope on the DW12s, while it's a bigger hole than the IR18, the envelope doesn't extend as far as it does behind the IR18. IR18 is like a second and a half contact. Watching two cars into the wall, two cars into the wall, 3-car contact. This is in turn 4. Gary Lovern and Hunter Bogdan just made contact as they were on the north end of the racetrack, and we just happened to have the camera on them. And let's go back into the Wayback Machine and see exactly what happened. So it looks like Hugo Galez was coming underneath Bogdan. Bogdan just came in a lot of net code. And Gary Lovern was on the high side, was going to clear it, but just was collected. And that is innocent the danger victim. Innocent victim. That is net code right there. Classic net code. In fact, if we rewind a little bit more, and let's ride around with Hugo Galez. Let's ride on his roll bar, and let's watch from his point of view.
It's almost half a meter of net code. It was insane. It's about a foot and a half.
Wow, look at that. Yeah. Wow. And that is a constant danger, not just with these cars, although it's really bad in these cars compared to the IR18, but it is a constant danger in these cars. So actually it's kind of good for this group that were under caution because they were losing the draft. Now, when you lose a draft in this big group of pack racing, that's a good thing and a bad thing. That lead group has more cars that's going to pull away from you. That's the bad thing. The good thing is that there's a big wreck up there. And here we come, everyone going to pit road. Everybody that did not go to pit road last time, except for Alexander Bonney. He is staying out. But everyone else is coming to pit road that stayed out before. So if that group back there was going to be able to get organized, and if it didn't bring out a caution, what they could have done is just simply waited for a caution to happen in front of them and then kind of pick off those spots one by one. But then, unfortunately, the caution happened with that group. So we're at 14 of 80. Coming very quickly up to a quarter of the race distance already complete.
Driver consensus on the track from the mics. They're also in agreement that it was a netcode issue, so nothing wrong with our display here in the booth.
No, big netcode, yep.
So Altana will cycle out, looks like 12th here with the most fuel, precious tires. And then Bonnie may be able to go, what do you think, 10 to 12 more laps if it goes green? Maybe 13?
All right.
We have had 2 yellows, so he may be able to stretch it to lap 28 or so.
And let's ride along with him and see how he's doing with his fuel management. Yeah, there he is. Clutches in, kind of coasting. Probably in 6th gear, lowest revs. Although I've been told, unlike the DW12, when you do get to 6th gear, if you were like on an economy run, 6th gear in the 12 doesn't save you as much as 6th gear does in the 18 when it's virtually the same engine. So it's just the way they wrote the code for the car, I guess.
I'm not an aerospace engineer. I just sit.
I just want to race.
I do what people tell me to do to save more fuel, right? If it means map 8, if it means clutch in, I'll do it.
All right, I think I got to the points. There's the points right there in the center of the screen. Rafi Eckert is the champion of 243 points. He's 67-point lead over Julian Altena. Doshenko P3. He's only 5 points behind Julian, so there is a battle, an active battle for second. Jesper Orman 4th, but it's not in the lineup. Gary Lover's 5th, but he was just involved in that incident. Craig Forsyth not in the lineup. He is 6th. Patrick Silvazzi, I don't think he's in the lineup today either. He is 7th. So Bonnie, who is 8th, is looking to make up some spots here potentially. So good on him. Christensen 9th, and Santos in 10th. And then you see Leader Energy Racing has the points championship at 243 points over Altena Autosport at 208. Let's get the points off the screen. Boop, and we're getting ready to go racing right now. Bonnie's going to bring us down. Here I'm getting into a higher gear as he's bringing the revs up. He could bring them up to speed anytime he wants, and he's doing it right now. Green flag in the air. Bonnie, Santos, and Mishki going into 1, 2, 3.
Very orderly restart. Everyone's single file here. Maybe a little shaken up from back-to-back incidents. Going to ride here for a little bit before they start making any moves.
Santos sitting there in the draft very patiently. So the deal with Santos here is, I believe he pitted, did he not? He has not pitted. So no, well, I show him not as any pit stops. So these two have not pitted. So these two really, I think, are just, if I was Santos, I'm just going to stay in the draft and try to maximize. The first car that's pitted is right behind him, and that is Mischke.
I got him confused with Eckert because they've got the same paint scheme.
Yeah, they do. And try to get the overlays going here.
I think we might see a 4-car breakaway here at the front.
Yep.
Side by side for the 5th.
So Boney and Santos have not pitted. Everyone else pitted on lap 10 for the most part, or lap 14. 3 wide in the back there. There's Oshinko 3 wide in the front.
To the bottom.
Eckert to the bottom. He's just going to send her. Eckert out to 5th.
And that slingshot is going to put them in touch with the first pack as well. So not only are they 3 wide, but they're gaining time on the leaders.
Oh, car making some net code contact off the back stretch there. Lee Kane in the middle group there. Actually, not Lee Kane. John Silva 3 wide going into 3. That's Silva, Holbloom, and Vandenbos. So we got a couple different groups going on here. 3 groups at the front. Oh, car contact. That is Con Christensen into. Oh, my goodness. Did you see that? Let's go back in the Wayback Machine a little bit here and check out what happened. This is Lee Kane and Christensen side by side. Kane and didn't get a good. That didn't really do what justice here. Let's try to get another shot here.
Yeah, it's a side pod hip check that sent Christensen towards the pit lane, and he saved it. It was incredible.
Wow. And rejoins and didn't collect anybody else. Sketchy, but good car control. Back up front, we're now 19 of 80, so we're coming to the quarter mark. Bonnie still the leader. Santos, Mischke, O'Sullivan, Eckert, your top 5. Jonas Weber. Doshinko underneath him for 7th here, side by side, off of 2. Down the 5/8 of the mile backstretch, separating the inside and the outside. Oh, crossover from Mateus Strauss. Separating, we got 3 holes for the Brickyard Crossing Golf Course that are in the middle of the infield here. Of course, the infield here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway is absolutely huge. You could fit the Vatican. You could fit the Roman Coliseum in here. You could fit Notre Dame Stadium. You could fit Yankee Stadium and fit Churchill down and still have room to put in other things in the center of the infield here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Don't look now, Gary, but Raffi Eckert's up to 3rd. He's got that championship in the bag, and he's looking for a win at Indianapolis to boot.
Yeah, and he's with his teammate. And, and also it looks like Lemmy's going to follow him through, and they're going to go right to the top. Your points champion is now P1 on the board. Bonnie needs to stay high and out of the wall there, but he's going to have a lot of momentum coming down the straight now. Here's Oshinko coming out wide. Oshinko now decides he wants to go to the front. So, actually, I don't know if you knew this, Kyle, but the golf course is actually the home golf course for the high school team there in Speedway, Indiana. The Spark Plugs, that's their team name, or their mascot. And that's where they actually play their high school golf, is at Brickyard Crossing. That's their home course.
Got to lean into it. It's kind of a shame that the Indianapolis NBA team is the Pacers and not the Pistons, right? No one wants to see a race under yellow.
Well, Indiana, and not specifically Indianapolis, but Indiana in the very early days of the automobile industry was among the leaders of automobile production. That's why the race course is here. It was a testing ground for those manufacturers to test their cars here. Then over time, slowly all that stuff moved up to Detroit. But it used to be Indianapolis was a major player in the automotive industry. Many companies built cars in Indianapolis. Duesenberg is probably the biggest name that I can think of that built here, among others. And Duesenberg also did have a couple cars that made the Indy 500 in the early days, 1900s, or actually 1911, 1920s, that period. The very first race here.
Talking history book, Gary. It's a pleasure.
The very first race here at Indianapolis was not a motor race. It was actually a balloon race, a hot air balloon race. And they kind of honored that heritage, at least they have in the past. The Red Bull Airplane Racing League would come here, and they actually use the Holman Boulevard, which is a backstretch for the GP course. They use that as their runway for when those planes would land and take off when they had the Red Bull Championships here. But Rafi Eckert is still your leader. Lemmy Minsky P2. Boney is holding on to P3. We expect Boney in about any time, really. Probably between now and lap 30, would you say?
Absolutely. Depending on, I mean, he led a little bit too, so he could be coming in the next 2 or 3 laps.
O'Sullivan to P3 on the high side of Boney. We're going to go 3 wide right behind him. Almost 3 wide. Now the snake happens down the front stretch. And sadly, I think we're going to see more of the snake as the race goes on.
The second pack that's lost touch, 10th, 11th, and 12th, love to see it because that does slow down the lead pack ever so slightly.
2 cars, Silva and Holbloom. Oh my goodness! Wow, they came
now they're all
really
together.
close.
Van de Bosch and Weber.
And we got Van de Velde is up on the riding the wall. Grinding, still no caution. He's going to bring the car to a stop to probably cause the caution. No, he's going to tow. Let's see what happened. That's a screenshot if someone wants to save that. That's a highlight screenshot right there. Down. We're in the north end of the south end of the racetrack. Oh, contact. Oof. That might have been, I'm not sure who that really was with. Jonas Weber, possibly? Yeah, Jonas Weber. As we see, has the bent wing here, trying to get it through 3. That's the north end of the racetrack.
He's going to shot that onboard was.
And he's going to stay, he wants to stay running. So let's go back to live television. He is in the pits now. But Rafi Eckert is the leader. So we were talking now. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car lead breakaway. So that is Eckert, Mischke, Sullivan, O'Sullivan, excuse me, Bonnie, Dosico, Strauss, and Santos. So we are in the middle of a leaner energy sandwich. The double-decker sandwich, but it's a sandwich nevertheless.
They've got 3.5 seconds just about on the second pack, and that second and third pack have just come together due to that trouble. A little bit of the checkup allowed the back pack to catch the middle pack. So we have 2 lines of cars right now.
Yeah, and that's led by Santos, or John Silva. We know he has fans in chat. Cedric Holbloom, those 2 almost came together a couple laps ago on the south end of the race course. Alec Van den Bosch, Julian Altena, our pole sitter, early leader, working his way up from trying to regain track position from... Going to go 3 wide into 3, sends it down low. Bold move, contact, and that is Silva into the wall. Flipping. And let's go see what happened. That, I think, was another case of netcode. Julian sends it. Yeah, Julian kind of made contact with Holbloom, and Holbloom netcodes into Silva. So Silva day done now, unfortunately. But we are under caution now. And waiting for the pace car to catch up to Rafi Eckert.
One of those deals, man. You want to make good time with the pack you're in. You want to leapfrog into turn 3, maybe gain a 10th, maybe gain a 10th and a half. and it just all goes wrong.
So if
John
everyone's
Silva's day's gone.
yeah, day's done, unfortunately. So if everyone stops here, that would get them to approximately 55. You think? Is that what we were thinking? You said 25 under no fuel conservation whatsoever. 25 laps.
Yeah, 25 laps if you're foot to the floor. 30, I think, if you save as much as you can, as long as you can. So, I mean, you can save a little bit here and then make it a nice, easy one-stop race. So I would expect to see everyone in the pits.
Yeah, here they come. Here they come. Anyone going to not make the turn? I think there might be one car not going to make the turn.
One taker.
And that's Hugo Gallas. So just give you the update on Hugo. He last stopped at 15. He is 16 laps under his current stint. So he is going to go to when his window, when he needs to stop is when he's going to stop, apparently. Hugo Gallas, very patient driver. Raced with him in the Lionheart IndyCar series, the Speedway division, the Speedway series there, which are these cars primarily on ovals. Well, not primarily.
Hugo's going to need some help.
Yep, he will.
Even if he sees out the end of this stint and then falls back in line with the pack and does max save, he'll be about 10 laps short, I think.
Leandro Silva, 3 wide in turn 3. Yes, sir. That's exactly what it was, and we called it here. Julian must have had a run that he could not wait on and took it. I think it's kind of, well, I think it's early to make moves like that. Just me personally, and nothing against Julian. However, with how hard it is to pass and the fact that that other group was getting away, maybe Julian felt a sense of urgency to make that move.
That's exactly right. You need to do those leapfrogs every corner if you want to make up time on the pack ahead of you. You have to grind away a couple of hundredths, a couple of tenths a lap, every lap. I mean, if you're 5 seconds behind and you make up 1/10 a lap, that takes 50 laps to make up.
Math. Well, Silva, I think he just wanted to take credit for leading the lap. Props on him.
Oh, you mean Hugo? Yeah.
Oh, Hugo Gallas, yeah. He's coming in, and he's going to hit pit road, but I believe he got credit for leading the lap there. He hits his stall, and for normal service. So he's looking more in the neighborhood of almost 60, give or take, for his next stop, if we go green. I don't think with the wave that we've been bouncing off each other, we're going to go green all the way to the end, though. So we'll see. Maybe paint me wrong. Lights are out on the pace car. Let's reset the field for you really quick. Your leader is Ralphie Eckert. He is up 17 spots from the back to the front. He is your series champion, and his team are the series team champions. So they've won the battle and the war. This is a little bit of an exclamation point to the campaign right here. Liam O'Sullivan, he is right there in P2. And we talked with him in the pre-race show, and he says, I didn't think this would turn into a pack race. Well, surprise, it is, and he is hanging on here in P2. Looks like Rafi is trying to morph into the pace sedan.
It doesn't give you better fuel mileage.
No, it doesn't.
The pace car has no air physics.
Lemmy Minchie has been up among the top 3 all race long. Matthias Strauss also up there as well. Started P2 on the start. And Julian, there he is. Made that bold move that brought out the caution. He is up to 5th now. We are getting ready to go green. Ralphie Eckert playing games with the pace car. But now the field is under his control. He can bring him up to speed anytime he wants. And he chooses right now green flag coming to lap 33. Getting closer to the halfway point.
They pay a bonus for leading that one, Gary?
I don't know. I think that I don't think he does any bonus points for fast lap and leading laps in this series yet. It might be for something for next season, which we will talk about here momentarily. Outside Sullivan, he's going to have the train. He's going to follow him through. Sullivan blinking. Sullivan to the front. Mischke staying high. All right, Ralphie Eckert is not in the right spot. Julian's following through, but Julian has nowhere to go.
Gary, I think Eckert's actually in a great spot. You don't want to lead here. If you lead here, you can't make it on one more stop.
That's very true. Very, very true. 3 wide, Julian to the front. What a power move, car in the wall. Santos.
Is that Edson?
Yeah, one of the learner energy cars into the wall. He's going to try to get down. We're going to go caution, caution, caution. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Keep her going, keep it going. He is down on the pit access roads. And he's going to do tow. So we are still green. Let's see what happened with Santos. Let's ride along with him. Oh, car sent it to the inside of him. He just was surprised. Just surprised. Yeah, a bit of a bold move by that car on the inside. Must have had a big run. I feel bad for Santos on that one. I think he was an innocent victim. Back up front, Julian is the leader. O'Sullivan second, Mischke now third. He's been, like we said, been up there all day long. Strauss fourth, Vanden Bosch fifth, Cedric Colburn sixth. Eckert falls back to seventh. Don't know if that's just everyone wanting to pass him now or that's strategic. Bonnie passes them going into 3.
Yeah, I'm on board with Eckert right now. He is not full throttle. He is saving fuel.
Okay. Got a car coming off a pit road. Not sure who that is. Hugo Galles. Well, he'll be rejoining the field there. Unfortunately, a lap down. Last car on the lead lap is Lee Kane. Back up to the front is Julian Altena.
We have trimmed the field significantly here, Gary.
Yeah, I
know.
know.
Down to 12 cars on the lead lap.
And Cedric Colboom, team
22.
Team Scandinavia looking to the inside to the lead. For Scandinavians, recently the history has been pretty good here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Talking about Kenny Breck, Marcus Ericsson.
You know, it's impossible to find Husky chocolate. I look for it everywhere. I can't find it.
But I think it's vaporware, I think. But I don't think it's not a sponsor anymore. He's got a new sponsor this season. We're driving for Andretti. But really, I think we talked about this before. If not, I know I've talked about it with others and other Indy 500 coverage. Marcus Ericsson really should be a back-to-back Indy 500 winner. I'm a big fan of Joseph Newgarden, and I'm extremely happy that he got his Indy 500 win. But last year, in all intents and purposes, Marcus Ericsson was robbed by that red flag that really was not necessary. Folks, when you go to a race, let me stress this. When you go to a race, unless it's NASCAR, when you go to an IndyCar, you're not guaranteed under anything that has to go to finish under green. It's a 500-mile race, and if the 500-mile comes under caution, it comes under caution. Get over it. I think I talked about this before, but each one of Dario Franchitti's Indy 500 wins, he has 3 of them. Each one came under caution. It doesn't make him any less significant than anyone else's.
NASCAR used to be the same way. Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500 under yellow.
Hey, we got a chance to talk about the track records here. We got some really old track records here. The single unofficial lap, which was turned in Fast Friday in 1996, Arie Luyendyk at 2:39.260. Keep in mind, that was in those 95. That was a 95 Renard that had Ford Cosworth power, and they were in the middle of a tire war, and they just repaved this speedway. So that has a lot to do with that monster speed. The single lap in official quals is 2:37.498, and that is also Arie Luyendyk, and that's set on day 2 of qualifications 96, because if you go back and remember, his first day pole qualification attempt was ruled invalid because his car did not meet the weight requirements. So his times for day 1 were scrubbed, and he had to go be a day 2 qualifier. Therefore, he could not start from the pole. And day 2 actually had slightly better conditions than day 1, and that's how he had those better speeds.
Even with more weight.
the fastest, actually, and I need to update my notes because I believe the fastest pole speed now is held by Alex Palou when he set the pole last year. So that's your fastest pole speed, Alex Palou. I'll have to go dig that up. Maybe you can look real quick if you have a meaning to find that. Fastest race lap here, also set in 96 with those big, skinny, turbocharged dart-looking cars. Eddie Cheever, 236 in a Menard, which had the big, it was basically a Buick engine rebadged by Team Menard. And it had like a big hump on the back. So it kind of looked like a little bit like a whale a little bit, but still 236.1 during the race. That's a monster lap there. The fastest race average, that's pretty new. That was only set a couple years ago. Helio Castroneves in 2021 with a race, I think it only had 2 cautions in it. 190.690 over 500 miles for Helio. The career wins leaders here, I shouldn't have to tell anybody. That is the absolute Mount Rushmore of IndyCar racing right here. A.J. Foyt, Alan Unser Sr., Rick Mears, Helio Castroneves with 4. Franchitti, Meyer, Rose, Rutherford, Shaw, and Bobby Unser each have 3. Your leading active drivers right now at the moment is Castroneves. He is still driving one-offs for this race for his team, Meyer Shank. Still has those 4, going for his 5th. And Takuma Sato, who will be making the lineup this year, and an Indy-only entry with 2. Everyone kind of forgets he could almost be a 3-time winner. And your, of course, defending Indy 500 champion is Joseph Newgarden. Team Penske figuratively and literally owns the Speedway. They have amassed 19 Indy 500 wins between 14 different drivers going back to 1972. Penske's Penske Entertainment Group are now the owners and operators of the Speedway, purchased it from the Holman Company in 2020. There's everything you need to know about Indianapolis in a nutshell. And I got more information, so if we get into a boring part, I can tell you more about this place. 44 of 80, Holboom your leader. I think we got into a period where everyone is just kind of chilling out.
Yeah, you take a bunch of knuckleheads, you knock them together enough, and they eventually put some sense into them. Oh, just as I say that, there goes Julian looking for the lead.
Speaking of knuckleheads.
But to put a garnish on that, Gary, yeah, Alex Palou is the fastest qualifier ever from 2023, overtaking Scott Dixon's 2022 effort, who took over Tony Stewart's 1996 effort.
Yeah, and that's the fastest pole speed. So there's a difference between the pole speed and the fastest qualification speed because Leyendyke qualified on day 2. Yeah, well, he qualified on day 2 of qualifications and was ineligible for the pole. So that's one of the rare circumstances where the faster car is back further in the field, and we've seen that in a handful of Indy 500s before. Gary Bettenhausen was the fastest qualifier one year. I believe Kenny Breck. And when he came back, one of his races with Ray Hall, when he came back here after doing a stint in kart, I think was the fastest qualifier further back in the field. I think he was racing Buddy Rice's car. Buddy Rice got in an accident, and they ruled him not cleared for the 500, or not cleared to drive. Here comes Rafi Eckert. He's back going to the front.
Yeah, I wonder if he and Altena both had hit their number and they feel comfortable moving up through the pack, knowing that they'll have enough fuel to make to the finish.
Rafi Eckert to the inside. Let's ride around with Rafi Eckert here. To the inside, he's going to go to the lead. So that's turn 3. This is the north pit of the racetrack. There's a tunnel right there goes under the racetrack. That's how people get into the racetrack. Another tunnel right here coming off of 4, right there. Everyone says going down the front straight, Skype going down a tunnel. Grandstands on each side. Turn 1 is identical in every way to turn 3, but everyone says turn 1 looks different. 9 degrees of banking. I will tell you, 9 degrees of banking does not look like a lot. However, I've walked on the track. They've had the Humane Society had a, what do they call a mutt strut, where you can take your dog to the track and walk them around the track for a day. And 9 degree of banking, that's a lot of banking, really. Walking up that is not necessarily the easiest stroll up to the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top. And inside, Holbloom. I also got a chance to drive my Camaro on the oval on one of the Chevrolet Customer Appreciation Days, and they let us open them up a little bit. So I got a chance to bring my Camaro down the front stretch at just touching 100 miles an hour, and that was a thrill. So I've actually been on the track driving at speed in real life on this thing. It is a smooth, as Allenser Jr. says, it is billiard smooth. Eckert cuts down, still your leader.
Speaking of smooth, some of the moves the pack has been going for the last couple of laps have not been. Lots of aggressive moves, just like that from Boney.
You can hear the change in engine tone on these camera shots when they're in the coming off of one into the short chute where the scrubbing the speed off and the engine's struggling to keep at rev. The problem is these tires are starting to get a little spent. O'Sullivan 3 wide. He sneaks through to P2. Oblum is now starting to weave a little bit. I don't think it's really necessary to do that. They've still got a long time to race. I think we're the last couple of laps. Let's start weaving, but now I think it's wasted effort.
Generally, in a longer race like this, until the last stop, you're just kind of riding it, in my opinion.
All right, quiz for Gary. This is from Jesper Orman for the longest between wins. Okay, first one, pretty sure has to be Juan Pablo Montoya. He went from 2014 to 2000. Okay, I think I know two. It might be Allenser Sr. Between 78 and 87. And I think there was a big gap between Castro Neves and his third and fourth. His third was 2009, I want to say, and his fourth was 2021. How'd I do? I know I got one of them.
And Alexander Boney got the lead.
Yeah, we watched him move right to the front. Showing that
down the front.
Showing that racing is in the genes with that family. Oldblum back to the front.
I would say in about 3 laps here, the window, I don't know, 3, 5, 6 laps maybe. I don't know. I'm getting nervous about the window being open, right? It'll be close here.
The more I think about that, Allenser Sr. Time between wins is not right. Because I think Foyt had 10 years between his third and fourth. Allenser Sr. had 9 years between his third and fourth. I don't think that's right. Castro Neves, I got it right. So the Foot Street drivers have longest year difference between their first and last win. Yeah, first and last win. Okay. So Castro Neves, yep. Senior, yep. I did do that. Foyt. I was thinking of the between two. Okay, never mind. You got me. Well, and then I got. I thought Juan Pablo was one of those two. That's 14 years between his 2 wins. Well, that 2000 race, I was at that when he came here for the first time with Ganassi Racing. He put a waxing on that field. That race was so boring. So, it just proved once and for all. I mean, I was a big IRL fan, mainly because it's Indianapolis. I want my town to do well, but I like the fact that IRL gave a lot of drivers a second chance that they otherwise not would have gotten at kart. And I did like that, and it did give a couple drivers a chance, like Buddy Rice and some other guys, to get a chance to get into a car, prove themselves, and do well here. But it showed the night and day difference between the I don't want to say professionalism, because I don't want to say there was any lack of professionalism on some of those IRL teams, but the level of training and precision that the kart teams had over the IRL teams was night and day. Ganassi just beat everybody on pit road. They beat him on the racetrack. That race, I mean, he led 167 laps. I mean, that was a boring race. Right at the very end, there was a late caution, and Lazier was in position in P2 to try to run him down, and he gave a good effort on it, and he couldn't quite pull it off, and he finished second. But that race was so boring. Bodie to pit road along with Holblum.
They tipped their hand last lap. They came over the comms, said they wanted to pit together. So we'll see if they can make a lot of time as 2 cars while the rest of the pack sold.
Got a third car coming in too. Not sure who it was. Christensen now the leader. So we have not given him a call out since his near miss on the attenuator. He was a moments away from going full Kevin Kogan.
Imagine if that save leads him to victory lane at the end of the day. What a story.
And a number of cars have pinned that attenuator over time. I believe Billy Boats smacked it once hard. I know Kevin Kogan sliced his car in half. And his tub and engine in 2 different parts went rolling down pit road. All the pit road guys had to get out of the way. Because who knows how heavy that engine was, and of course it was probably really, really hot after all those fluids pouring out of it. And then it was the COVID race in August of 2020. There was a car that hit the attenuator and then bounced to the other side of the track, and it damaged the attenuator so much that I think they just had to finish the race under caution, and that's what got Sato his win there. Everybody look at the pit road. Careful, guys. Get it down. So you see, we were talking from Pocono on a couple races over the last couple broadcasts. You see the cones there at the end of pit road. They're further down pit road for IndyCar here to give you a chance to come off the corner and really get into pit road fast and then slow down. And I believe pit road speed is, 60 miles per hour here?
60 is correct.
Yeah. So, but unlike we're watching a leader right now on pit road, at Pocono, the cones are right at the start of the wall. So you have to really woe your car down much further. And if you're used to pitting at Indianapolis, then you're going to be caught speeding more often than not at Pocono because the cones are right there. I wish that's something that iRacing would program into the software somehow, where I could have a variable speed pit road limit. I have a slider where I could say, these Indy cars can go faster than 60 miles per hour here, which at one point 100 miles per hour was the pit road speed limit. It is not anymore. But for instance, 35 miles per hour at Dover for Indy cars, if you go there, that's incredibly way too slow. You'll go 3 laps down.
You go almost 4 laps down.
Yeah. That should be a slider. And then also you should be able to put the cones at different spots on pit road based upon what series or car you have. I wish iRacing would do that, but again, I always joke it's a NASCAR world and we kind of live in it. But I did read it's very promising. Here come some of the leaders now off of turn 2. They're gonna try to pick off Eckert, who is going to pop out ahead of everybody. iRacing is going to go ahead and put in the coding to add all the changes to the 2024 IR18. So that is good. That car, hopefully by the end of the season, will be exactly what, or as close to what the real drivers are racing in the real series. Big lead for Rafi Eckert now after these pit stops. Big and relative is because I don't think we've seen a 7/10 of a lead by anybody all race long.
Not yet. He executed on pit road. He got on and off faster than anyone else, and he had a good in-lap and a good out-lap. So let's see if he's not a sitting duck, if he can break away from the pack behind him.
Well, they're going to have to work together. Going 3 wide is not working together, boys.
O'Sullivan to the bottom makes it stick. All right. No trouble that time. 3 wide into 3. Oh, they're coming. They're down to... They've made it a 10th.
Yeah, made it a 10th.
Be another 10th.
Yeah, they have to work with each other, though, and I don't know... O'Sullivan blinked out there, so we'll get the camera on Mishke. Got to kind of watch with Mischke when O'Sullivan blinks out. You kind of you've raced with cars that have been laggy before. Sometimes you don't know where they're going to pop up. They might rematerialize right on top of you.
Sometimes the service gives you a little grace, and if they come up on top of you, you ghost in and out of one another. Sometimes you get no grace whatsoever, and one of you goes to the moon. Hard to know what to expect.
0.6 of a lead over O'Sullivan coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, last time by, they had it down to half a second, so O'Sullivan's blinking actually hurt the trailing pack a lot.
O'Sullivan might want to move over and let Mischke try to kind of pull the train here. There are right in front of the turn 2 suites, the first racetrack hospitality suites that at least that I know of. That used to be part of the Speedway Hotel, which was part of the property, and many drivers would stay there during the month of May. And no longer the hotel's there. It's a restaurant, and I believe it's also the clubhouse for the Brickyard Crossing golf course. But the hospitality suites are still there, and they are sponsored by Riley Children's Hospital, which is a hospital here in Indianapolis. Pediatric hospital.
Now they're within a
yep, they got it now. They got it now. Just a little patience. But if you're in those suites, and especially if you're on the third floor of those suites, right at the very end towards closest to turn 2, as the cars come around turn 2, you can look down into the cockpit and see their hands at the 10 and 2 position with, you're most of the time looking at the hand at the 2 o'clock position because they're turning left, of course. But a very interesting point of view if you could ever get a chance to get in those suites. 3 wide with a blinking O'Sullivan to the inside. O'Sullivan going to send it. Mischke has excellent spatial awareness. I don't think I've seen any other drivers get nearly as close as he does to any other car than he is.
He puts his nose right under the tailgate.
Yeah, he does.
Within like 3 inches. It seems like.
There is not, when he puts his nose underneath the attenuator, there is not much room there. O'Sullivan wanted up. He was clear, decided not to take it. Mischke, O'Sullivan, Eckert, Strauss, Vanden Bosch, your top 5. Christensen, Kinder, Altena, Bell, and Holblum, who were among the leaders a little bit early on until pit stops happened. We're top 10. 3 wide going through 1. Whoa! And I might have cursed Mischke there. He might have kissed the wall. His spatial awareness might have ran out there. That cost him a little momentum. He's actually kind of hemorrhaging now positions, as Vanden Bosch is going to get a look on the inside of him. Oh, and another possible net code contact there from Mischke. Side by side, Sullivan and O'Sullivan and Eckert.
This front pack mixing it up is going to let Altena and company catch up from a second and a half behind. They'll be there probably in the next 3 or so laps.
If you're just joining us, race first coverage of the VOR DW12 Championship. Last race from Indianapolis. Lap 66 of 80. Rafi Eckert, is the series champion and leader. And if you're enjoying everything, make sure to smash like in the video here. And if you're not already subscribing, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Race First iRacing program. We have lots of it. Woo! Mischke was floating up there a little high. Got it under control. Now the snake's beginning. So how is that not blocking, you say? Okay, well, I'm glad you asked such a question. Blocking in IndyCar racing is you're allowed 1 move, really. And then after that, you're supposed to hold your line, and you cannot react to the car in front of you. In this case, you're not reacting to the car in front of you. You're actually leading the snake. So it's blocking in a legal sense.
Or if you were the car in second or third, you're reacting to the car in front of you, not the car behind you.
Right. But we've talked about this before, especially from our coverage at Pocono. Weaving sometimes does more harm than good.
Yeah, all this weaving is to let Altena and company, the final 4 cars here in the shot, catch up to the front pack. They were a second and a half, 1.8 seconds behind. Now they're up to 1.3, almost to the point where they're going to get a tow here from the end of the pack, and they'll all be, instead of being a 5-car race to the finish, it's going to be an 8-car race.
Well, this particular group right here is a good set of racers. Even with Gallas, who's 1 lap down in this group of 4, these are all very experienced drivers right here. Artena, Kinder, Bybel. Now, Bybel is not as experienced in the open-wheel IndyCar, but he's a very experienced road racer. So I'm sure he's following kind of team orders, and Julian's saying, tuck in, tuck in, tuck in. We got to run these guys down. And Seb Kinder is smart enough to know that if I stay behind Julian and I tuck in with him, we're going to the front. So Julian now is trying to get to the rear of his teammate Christensen. And then once he gets there, Christensen might set up where allows Julian to get on past and send that row of cars ahead. So we got team possibilities at play here. Of course, there is a point in time in a race at Indianapolis when even team orders is not enough to make a driver help you out. It's everybody for themselves. And we're kind of at that point right now. We're coming to 10 to go.
Yeah, there's not going to be a place to go. You've got cars fighting to be 3 wide for the lead. There are not 4 lanes in the corners.
And they're there. You called it. They're there. Julian to the high side. And he's not weaving. He's just holding his line, keeping that momentum very clean on the top line there.
Sticks it to the top again. Let's see if he can make up any positions and carry that momentum down the short chute and into 4. He's going to have a head of steam.
Yeah, and especially if Minsky comes down, he might... Oh, he's going to go around on the wall! Look how close he was there from that shot. Now, the problem when you're that high, you got to remember the exit in that wall comes up really quick, and I think Julian got contact. Something happened with Julian
on the access road. It's not enough room to have 4 cars wide. 3 cars wide, you end up with 1 in the wall.
And Julian, I think, made contact with somebody. So his momentum is a little snubbed at the moment. Eckert now your leader. O'Sullivan on the outside. Strauss behind. And Van den Bosch now coming up the middle. Strauss was behind in the draft there with Eckert. 3 wide. Christensen to the inside of turn 1. 3 wide coming off the corner. This is like the start of the 500 for real. Julian got his momentum back. 9 laps to go.
3 wide on the back there. Then 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide to the lead in 3. As I sat in turn 3 for many, many years when going to the 500. Good seats there. See all the way to the north end of the track, down the backstretch. My favorite seats are sitting in turn 4. You can see all the way down the front stretch here. There is not a single seat here in the Speedway that you can sit in. You can see the entire track. It's one of those few places that, unlike like a Daytona or Charlotte or some of the the NASCAR cookie cutter tracks, where a single seat will show you the whole track. You cannot see the entire track from a single seat here. It is impossible.
No banking on the backstretch, and the fact that it's a rectangle and not an oval.
Now, in each one of the turns, there's typically a big screen TV, and that they typically have the race feed plugged into that, and you can watch when the cars are not at your end of the racetrack from the TVs, and people do that. 8 to go. Everybody should be good to go fuel-wise. We'll see. 3 wide at the start-finish line, dead heat. Eckert and O'Sullivan.
They will be good to go on fuel here to the finish, and I think we're going to have a 4-car pack decide it. I don't think Christensen, Altena, and Minsky can make up the time they lost after mixing it up in turn 2 a few laps ago.
We got Liam O'Sullivan fans here in chat saying, go, Liam. Liam has put on a heck of a show. For someone that's not an adept oval racer and learning as he's going, he is going up against a very seasoned oval racer in Rafi Eckert. And I might add, Strauss and Van den Bosch have probably more experience in the IndyCar over Liam O'Sullivan as well. or coming off of pit road. Not sure who that was. That
Alexander Boney.
Boney, okay, so he's had the pit a little early to get to the finish. But at some point, I'm going to put him a lap down. So mileage for him worked out differently because he was out front a lot, and people were just using him as a blocker for the win there. O'Sullivan tries to cut down, get a little bit of draft on the short chute, and so he can get a run on Eckert down the front straight. Big cut to the inside. He was probably expecting Eckert to make the turn to the inside. That's probably why he made a big cut there. It's dead heat down the front straight into one. The grandstand's right behind turn one. That's your official ticket office there. So if you like what you see here, you want to do some real IndyCar racing, make sure you get your tickets for the Indy 500. That's where you get them from.
They're on track to sell out, so they're running out quickly.
3 wide down the backstretch for that second group, and they don't need to be doing that. They really, 5 to go. They have a little time. They can try to catch this lead group, but time is running out. And folks, we got 10 miles to go, and we get to the start-finish line one more time. It's a qualification run, 4 laps, 10 miles for one winner here at Indianapolis. Final race for DW12 Championship Series. 4 drivers in contention right now. O'Sullivan, Eckert, Strauss, and Boss. Cover him with a blanket. Van den Bosch is looking right now. He's the interested party. He's following along. I think he might be waiting for contact and he can sneak through, but he is the interested party. Let's pop into his car for a lap. Check out his point of view. Doesn't have much of a place to go. Getting those wheels below the white line. Got to stay in the draft. That's important. Strauss almost to the grass on the old rumble strips there. At some point, Van den Bosch is going to send it and make himself a 4-way battle for this lead. Right now, he's dealing with a blinky car to the inside, 3 to go. North-south end of the racetrack here. Racetrack is perfectly north, south, east, west aligned. This is the east side of the racetrack. Coming up to turn 3, right behind turn 3, there's some residential area, believe it or not. People live that close to the racetrack. Those trees that you see right above turn 3 there, someone actually built. O'Sullivan and Ralphie Eckert almost get in contact. Those trees that you see right above the turn 3 stands there, the homeowner there actually built a tree house that you can climb up in and watch the action from his house. He can see turn 3. That's awesome, I know. I want a 500 tree house. 2 to go. We're going to ride along with Alec Van den Bosch here a little bit longer. Van den Bosch going to have to make a move. I expect he probably will try to make a move down the backstretch now. No, he backs out of it. He's biding his time.
Yeah, he's lifted every time he's had a run, so I don't know if he's content or if he's short-fueled, or we'll see here.
Coming to the white flag. This is what it looks like from a driver's point of view, getting the white flag at Indianapolis.
I want to be where Strauss is right now. If I could be in any of these cars, I'd be in 3rd place.
Well, let's pop up to Strauss here. White flag. We'll check the regular feed here as they go down the backstretch. Off the corner 2 for the last time. Down the backstretch. Strauss to the outside. We're going to 3 wide into 3, boys.
Bottom didn't open up for him. Let's see if he can make it stick up top.
He can make it stick, but it's just the momentum's not there. And then O'Sullivan kind of comes up in front of him. Eckert has the momentum. Down the front straight. Eckert, still Eckert. It's going to be Eckert. Your champion wins with the exclamation point on this championship campaign here in the VOR DW12 series at Indianapolis.
That all materialized on the backstretch when Strauss went high instead of forcing himself to the grass. It allowed Van den Bosch to sneak up into 2nd, taking the inside line through 3 and 4.
And he is your winner by 0.084 seconds. That would probably go down in Indy history as one of the closest finishes, top 10 closest finishes at the track all time, I'm sure.
For IndyCar, Indy Lights, they finish like that almost every year, it seems like.
Yeah, those guys are like really draggy, and yeah, they just kind of promote that style of racing. The Indy NXT now is Sounds like a wrestling promotion. Anyways, I like wrestling, so it's, WWE has the NXT. So if no one knew the joke. All right, let's get the final standings in here from Indianapolis as the winner burns it down over the yard of bricks. Of course, this used to be paved with all bricks. A lot of them came from Terre Haute, and that is the only remaining portion of the racetrack that shows bricks. Is that yard of bricks right there at the start-finish line. And if you ever sat on the front stretch, sometimes when those cars back in the day would smack those bricks, it'd be like a big shotgun sound, pow, as those cars would always hit those bricks. So it scared me as a little kid, but as you get older, you always kind of got used to and got fond of that sound. But let's take a look at the final stats here. Eckert, Vandenbosch, and Strauss, your top three, and podiums. O'Sullivan, Christensen, Miskey, Altena, Kinder, Bybel, Holbloom, top 10. I'm sure Julian probably was wanting a better finish out of that. I'm wondering if he had damage there that was kind of slowing his pace down there toward the end there. I think Mischke also might have had the same thing because Mischke was up among those leaders all race long. Boney finished 11th, might have been on a slightly different fuel strategy. Hugo Galez finishes 12th, Lee Kane 13th, Santos 14th, Vicente 15th. Dojico 17th, Silva 16th. 16th, 17th. Overlay's weird. Weber, Van de Velde, Lovern, Bogdan, and Pavado round out the remainder of your 22-car field. Just 11 shy of the full 33, but still we had plenty of action.
Action to the competitor's detriment. We ended with half the field and only 4 cars in the lead pack because they couldn't sort it out in turn 2 on lap 70.
All right, let's take a look here in chat. See, while we're going to do that real quick, I do want to bring up, this is the last race of the inaugural season of the VOR DW12 Championship Series. Will be renamed, I think, next season, the VOR DW12 Series. And this is the schedule. Let me bring that all in here. Starting Fridays, it will be myself and Kyle in the booth calling the opener from April 5th. 3 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, is what the time is going to be. Michigan, Gateway, Texas, Daytona. Oh, that's going to be a fun race. Back to Indy, and then they're going to finish up at Auto Club Speedway. Only 6 rounds of the DW12 series, and all of it will be exclusively here on Raceverse. And make sure, like we said, click the bell to set weekly reminders, because we'll have all of those races published and ready to go, so you can just set notifications on to remind you. All right, let's get into this thing. And there is the waiting room. So let's bring up Strauss first. Hey, Matthias, we got you here in the booth with Gary and Clindy. P3, a lot closer from your point of view. Almost there, a .160 was your deficit to the leader. So close, yet so far. But you were kind of among the leaders all day, fell back a little bit, brought the car back up the front again. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was interesting, especially with a packed race. I expected a bit more of a slipstream range than 0.5, so it was, if you had a bad restart, you were kind of screwed, but but I got saved like 3 times, so I was that was fine. But yeah, damn, you had so much to focus on, cars left and right going forward, and we just wanted to fuel save, and people just ran past and almost get a heart attack because of the doing 310 and they are coming at 350. So, oh my god, I'm sweaty.
Matthias, did you take me through the last lap? Were you thinking about splitting them 3 wide in the middle, or was your plan always go to the top?
Well, plan. I didn't really have a plan because I know as soon as you pull out of the slipstream, you're getting so much parachute, so you can barely get around them. So, and then Eckert and Liam made it side by side at the bottom and the middle. So the only lane was to stick it up top and pray it sticked. But unfortunately, it didn't go all the way around. But it was a mega finish.
It sounds like what plan? I had no plan. I just had to act. Everything was happening so quick, but a great finish, a great looking finish. You were there all day. Congratulations. A lot of patience. I'm sure your arms are very stiff. Your forearms probably hurt a lot, and you probably just need a little bit of a break. So we'll let you on your way. But before you go, you did obviously you got on the podium here in Indianapolis, and that earns you an opportunity to take the microphone and give some shout outs. So go right ahead. If you want to say hi to anybody, sponsors, what have you, go right ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank the rider engineering team with me, Liam, Lemmy, and Jonas Weber, who's done a pretty solid teamwork today and showed that everyone was in contention for the win.
All right. Congratulations on your win. Will we see you next season when the next season starts?
It depends on the time I've got.
You got it. Well, congratulations. It's good seeing you, and we hope to see you next season. Matthias Strauss, P3 here at Indianapolis. Next up is Alec Vandenbosch. And we got him in the booth right here. Alec, tell us about your race. You were kind of in the mid-pack for a portion and then fought your way up. And then as soon as you got up there with the leaders, you stuck with it and made a good go of it there on the last lap. We were kind of watching you in the in-car for a portion, just saying that you had the best seat in the house, and sure did. And then at some point, we also heard you kind of rolling out of it, like you were biding your time coming down the backstretch on some of these runs that you had on the leaders. And we knew that when that white flag would come out, you would not be rolling out of it like exactly you did. And you kind of sent it and made that last two turns pretty exciting. So what was your plan really there for the finish?
Nice to be on your show.
Good to have you here.
It's just what you're saying. I was watching what happened, and we had some luck with the pit stops, so we passed the lead group. And then I just stayed behind Matthias, and it was very hard to pass on the outside. So I thought I have to do it to the last corner. And I had a little bit of luck because I had the toe of the left car. But it was very nice, very, very fun race.
Before we let you go, we haven't had you up in the booth yet. I don't think this year. So it's a well-earned and a much overdue podium. So while you're here, I mean, P2 at Indianapolis, you got some shout outs. I know you got some people you want to thank. So go right ahead, man. You earned it.
Yeah. First, I want to thank Julian for VOR, for the great team and the great league that he made. And thanks to you for the enjoyable broadcast you always make.
We try.
Yeah, I always enjoy it. So
thanks a lot.
I was glad I'm on the podium for once. I had a little bit of bad luck a few races, so it's nice. So thank you.
No problem. Hope to see you next season. Congratulations. Great race, and it's good to finally get you up in the booth.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Have a good one.
Yep. So before we bring down the winner real quick, purple lap, Seb Kinder, a 41.665. Not a lot of the purple lap. It was everyone's fastest lap was like right on top of one another, pretty much. I'm looking at the numbers. That should be to no surprise. It's just how draggy these cars were, right?
Yeah, we didn't really ever see anyone get able to slingshot from one pack to the next pack or go from car to car leading them. So, the best lap you would run is right behind someone, 2/10 ahead of you.
All right, before we bring him in real quick, Ralphie Eckert is the points championship. He finishes with 6 starts, 5 wins, 6 top 5s, 6 top 10s, 296 total points, 14 bonus points. Was running on a total of 641 laps for his season. Let's bring up the champion. He finished 92 points ahead of Julian Altena for the championship here at Indianapolis. Bring him up in here. Hey, Rafi, congratulations. This is Gary and Clindy. You are the champion not only of the league, but the champion here at the Brickyard, and your team are the team champions. It's a triple crown kind of day for you. I'm sure you're very excited. 5 wins in this series this season long, so you and this car are a very good pairing. Tell us about your race, first of all, and then you got plenty of time here. The microphone's all yours. We want you to talk about your championship, too, because you pretty much dominated it from start to finish.
Hello, very happy with that result. Hard pack race today. I did not expect that for Indianapolis, but still safe for the most of the laps. But with the opportunities to get in the front, I got on the charge and another win, the hardest of the season. Very happy with my team with that result. I think I got in the one of the best teams from Brazil. Thank you for the partnership from Dr. Norberto and Linear Energy. What incredible season for me. Not training so much, but I have so much experience in this car because here we have 3 or 4 leagues hosting this car in the last years. I started in the DW12. Very happy with that. Thank you.
It's a fun car to drive. Last lap, let's talk about the last lap real quick. 3 wide into 3. What were you thinking there on the last lap going into 3 down the backstretch, 3 wide?
Yeah, I got very lucky.
Yeah.
If Strauss chose the middle line, it will be a real hard thing to catch the understeer. But he chose the outside line with momentum, and I got the free air. And that made the difference. I get the front stretch without the track, and only managed to close in front.
Real quick before we let you go, we got the final points here. So you finished the season with 296 points, 6 starts, and we were telling people you had 5 wins, 6 top 5s, 6 top 10s. So even when you didn't win, you were in the top 5. You led, or actually you completed 641 laps, got 14 bonus points. So you did everything you needed to do to win the championship and then some. Julian finished second, 92 points behind you. So congratulations. We hope to see you in the next season. You are a great racer in this car. We hope to see you more of you in this car, especially from other leagues. I think we got the Dark Horse DW12 series later tonight, so I hope to see you there. So congratulations here. Congratulations on the championship, and hope to see more of you going forward.
Yeah, I think I will not got back in the championship because of the new time slot. Here from Brazil is very soon at Fridays, but probably in the next season I will get back on the IR18, hoping for fight for more wins, and now keep focused for the later race at Dark Horse League. Yes.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you later tonight. That'll be here on Race First. Maybe Rafi Eckhart can go 2 for 2 on DW12 Sunday. Congratulations, and we'll check you later. But go enjoy your championship with you and your teammates.
Thank you.
Wow. He is very happy, you can tell. And he definitely talked about that last lap could have gone another direction if Strauss literally would have gone another direction.
I think Strauss had the option to put his lefts on the grass or put his rights in O'Sullivan's lefts to split them up the middle. And Strauss took the least aggressive option, still 3 wide into 3 on the last lap. No shortage of aggression there.
Well, that's it for this season. We only had you here for a couple races, but we got you here for the entire next season. It's going to be me and you, and once again, we'll put up that schedule, and that will start here April 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. So that's a Friday, April 5th. All the races will be on Friday. All the times will be 3 o'clock across the board. So we'll open up your weekends with a little DW12 action here on Race First. So looking forward to working more with Clindy in the booth for them. But in the meantime, what do you got planned on your IndyCar schedule coming up here in the next couple of days?
Well, I made a bet with everyone in the fixed series that if I don't finish podium in the championship series for next season, I will pay everyone who finishes ahead of me 5 iRacing dollar credits. So if you want to beat me and get $5, go ahead and race the IR18 fixed series and finish ahead of me if I don't podium, and I'll give you a little gift.
The Clinworth Challenge. I like it. Can we sponsor it, the Race First Clinworth Challenge?
If you got the money, I
he wants me to
it.
put up the money. I love it. The Clinworth Challenge, like the old Pepsi Challenge back in the day. Well, that sounds awesome. Well, we'll see how there's a couple weeks before we're back on the air again, and we'll get a full report of how well the Clindy Challenge went. But best of luck to you on that. That is it, man. Here, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We hopefully. You did subscribe, you did click the bell when you did subscribe, and you did hit that thumbs up. But that's it for today. Once again, your podium from Indianapolis. Rafi Eckert wins the battle, wins the war, and the icing on the cake. He gets the triple crown, wins Indianapolis, wins the championship, and his team wins the team championship. Alec Van der Bosch P2 on one of his first podiums of the season, and Matthias Strauss also with a good podium, finishing third. The difference of position there, 0.084 for Van den Bosch up to Eckert, and then Strauss 1.60 from Strauss up to Eckert over the difference in victory there. So very, very close. Very, very close. Hey, so join me and Clindy again Friday, April 5th, as for the opening of round one of season 2 of the VOR IndyCar DW12 Championship Series as the teams and drivers kick off their campaign, as we said, at the High Banks of Michigan. Coverage next season will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that is 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, it's a new day and time, so as always, you can find everything you need right here at youtube.com/racefirst. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you gotta hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Race First's other iRacing program, including later tonight. We got round 2 of the Dark Horse DW12 series, season 7 of them. You don't want to miss it. Maybe see Rafi in that one as well. Let's see. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. So for business inquiries, learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com, or like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So for Kyle Clinsworth, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gotzo saying all happy Sunday. Thanks for watching, and to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here April 5th for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing DW12 Series. Good night.